Namaste. Schizophrenia is among the most enigmatic and the most dreaded of psychological disorders. Today, we shall discuss schizophrenia with psychoanalysis consultant Mr. Himanshu Vaidya. Namaste. So, would like you to explain us what schizophrenia is all about.
It is a disorder of reality testing. It is an extreme disorder. It is one of the most dreaded disorders, one of the most difficult to understand and difficult to cure disorders. It's also one of the most researched disorders because it tells us about what fundamentally can go wrong with the mind. So it is enigmatic, it is difficult, it is esoteric, also dreaded, it is also extremely destructive to the person and society, and it is also something which is a challenge to both psychiatry and psychoanalysis.
So, what are the classic symptoms covered by the term schizophrenia?
The symptoms usually are delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, disorganized thought, disorganized action, uh, catatonia. These are the most usual symptoms that we see.
And what is the psychoanalytic explanation of causation of schizophrenia?
Uh, when we say schizophrenia, we mean that the symptoms have been there active for more than 6 months and at least 1 month of florid.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is the state, obviously we are dealing with a situation where the factors of sickness have been able to overthrow the factors of health in a substantial way.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a very extreme situation we are dealing with, and therefore from a psychoanalytic point of view, in this situation, we are most of the times dealing with Oedipal or pre-Oedipal pathology of very early life.
Okay.
And these, uh, the roots of the pathology in terms of the process and the phenomena are very difficult to know. In phenomenological terms, we can look at different forms of schizophrenia based upon the symptom which is primary.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if we are looking at delusion of persecution, in some of the cases we may be looking at the Freudian explanation of repressed homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
In some other cases, we'll be looking at Klein's explanation of attack of the bad batch. In some cases, we may be looking at disintegration of the ego leading to this split getting open, which otherwise was very well covered off. So
Mm-hmm.
we will be looking at Kohut's phenomena of a fragile self disintegrating under stress.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, we may be looking at absence of good enough mothering not leading to creation of a soothing, balancing, stabilizing mechanism inside. And in some cases, we may be looking at projection guilt towards the parents projected outside. In some cases, we'll be also looking at the uh, the beta elements getting projected out in the form of the disorganized or bizarre objects, or in terms of exhibiting in terms of disorganized or bizarre actions. In some cases, it may be too much of sadness leading to resignation and complete withdrawal. And in some cases, discharge of beta elements or semi-processed or uh, extremely repressed affect in terms of difficult to understand, very disorganized kind of motor action that we see in catatonia. So these are the operational processes which we understand from psychoanalytic point of view, which explain the causation of schizophrenia. So, sorry, the phenomenological explanation of schizophrenia from a
Mm-hmm.
point of view of psychoanalysis. In operational terms, in terms of the elemental mechanisms which
Mm-hmm.
are operative in all these phenomenological explanations,
Mm-hmm.
the elemental operational mechanisms include wish fulfillment, uh, projection,
Mm-hmm.
attack on linking, attack on separation,
Mm-hmm.
disintegration, withdrawal because of resignation, uh, It may include fusion and confusion. It may include uh, disorganized discharge of severely repressed affect or beta elements, which are very uh, less processed psychological entities which are awaiting full processing. So
Right.
those are the elemental operations. So in terms of the phenomena or in terms of the elemental operations or in terms of both, we can explain the phenomena of schizophrenia in psychoanalytic terms.
Right. So we have different schools within psychoanalytic explanation of causation of schizophrenia, explaining various symptoms. And how does now,
Yes.
when it comes to healing, how would psychoanalysis proceed with healing of schizophrenia?
Healing would be a long-term activity. It would be like 2 to 3 days a week, in some cases even 4 to 5 days a week, going on from 2 years to 5 years, because we are like dealing with the extreme form of a mental sickness, mental health sickness. So this is not something we can take lightly from a healing standpoint. It deserves all the seriousness that we can bring to the table, and we have to look forward to a long drawn healing process. Second, it requires a very skillful therapist to do this kind of process, because especially for patients of schizophrenia, the kind of projective identification and the projections that they make are not easy for the therapist himself to handle. So unless a therapist himself is well thoroughly analyzed himself and has a good health system in him, it's not easy for him to handle those patients. From a
Mm.
school point of view, we will be looking at, in some cases, if we are looking at a combination of some homosexual fantasies and schizophrenia, we'll be looking at the Freudian approach. If we are looking at a more elemental part object kind of presentation, where something inane, something part, something bizarre is attacking the person in the delusion of persecution or in hallucination, he sees that. In those cases, we'll be looking at pre-Oedipal explanations of the Kleinian type.
Mhm.
If we are looking at fantasies of merger or demerger, we'll be looking at the fusion element of the Kleinian theory.
Mhm.
If we are just looking at uh, inability to soothe oneself in cases of circumscribed schizophrenia,
Mhm.
then we will be looking at attachment theories and prescriptions given by attachment theories on how to do the therapy. But in all cases, we will have to first go with initially with the cohesion method, create a safe space, uh, allow the person to internalize a good object to at least a minimum degree before the real integrative or interpretative work can really happen. And in
Mhm.
case of very, very fragile patients where the ego strength is very low, we may have to go very, very slowly. And in some cases, we may just have to do supportive therapy for a very long time
Mhm.
before the interpretative therapy can ever begin.
So that it becomes
So,
kind of manageable.
yeah, because we may also encounter in these cases some people where the interpretative work just can't begin for a very long period of time.
Mhm.
And till that point comes, they are not actually open to psychoanalytic cure.
Mhm.
So this is a sickness which sort of makes us realize that psychoanalysis is not an omnipotent tool. There may be some patients, like in the one some a minority group within schizophrenia, where it would be difficult to deploy the classical healing of psychoanalysis. But for most patients of schizophrenia, it does apply, and psychoanalysis can do a lot of good, at least in 90% of cases of schizophrenia.
Okay. That's quite a great possibility. But
Yeah,
in current
it is.
times, when well-being is given so much of weightage, it's just no more the physical well-being; it's also the psychological well-being. So, can holistic healing and well-being approaches be applied to this severe form or the dreaded form of mental disorder, schizophrenia?
It's a good question, because some people just write off anything apart from drugs in schizophrenia because they feel the sickness is just too severe for anything other than the biochemical form of treatment. It is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Psychotherapy works very well along with psychiatric drugs. Of course, psychiatric drugs are necessary, but psychotherapy works very well along with psychiatric drugs. And we underestimate the good that holistic healing tools can do.
Okay.
Tools like relaxation, tools like positive thinking, tools like spirituality, tools like yoga, tools like social work, tools like uh, the restful hypnotic trance of hypnotherapy, tools like relaxing music, Reiki, pranic healing. All of these are tools that they may not be substitutes of the drugs, but they definitely have an add-on value. And it is not that they don't contribute any value. They do contribute value and they have their own place in the comprehensive treatment plan. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, the holistic healing can add to our healing efforts of schizophrenia. It can improve the quality of life. It can make the life more rounded for the person, and it also supports our healing, and in some cases it also leads to enhanced healing. So yes, it has a place in the comprehensive treatment plan of schizophrenia.
That's very wonderful that healing is overall again here. How is patient's education important in the context of this severe form of the disorder?
It's very important because first the person has to know what is happening to him
Mm.
to resolve that anxiety of the unknown infinite, because that anxiety of the unknown infinite is a very terrifying anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Two, if he knows what is happening to him, to some extent biologically, to some extent psychologically, he can manage himself better by knowing his own do's and don'ts.
Right.
Third, we have to prepare him for a long drawn healing process.
Mm-hmm.
It is not something which is going to be over very soon. So we have to prepare the person for a long drawn healing process, and psychoeducation is very essential for that. Fourth is not to misinterpret because of sickness something that others do innocently, which may get translated in his mind into something very difficult.
Right.
Fifth is to select a holistic healing plan, to select a holistic lifestyle to enhance one's quality of life, and to have many preoccupations, not preoccupations, many occupations and many emotional investments in the outside world so
Mm.
that he is relieved to some extent from being monopolized by the terrifying inside world. So all this brings us to this very important aspect of patient education. And lastly, uh, when he comes to report to the doctor, if he knows what he is going through in slightly scientific terms, his reporting is much better, much more accurate. And if some medicine is working or not working, some therapy approach is working or otherwise, uh, he can judge the efficacy of it much better. And if not judge, at least report his point of view to the healer, who is then far more empowered to uh, understand that process of what is happening right or wrong. Once he is given that information, he is given that information from the uh, educated patient.
Right. And when we talk about the social structure, we all are aware that such severe forms of mental illness brings upon dependency. So the caregiver can be a spouse or a parent, or sometimes with elderly patients, the children, or sometimes in a different setup, a nurse or some kind of a support. So when it comes to the caregivers, what should the family members or the caregivers do if they're helping someone dealing with such severe disorder?
I think the first step is to get themselves educated.
Mm-hmm.
Psychoeducation of the caregiver is the first step, because unless they know what is wrong that is happening to the person they are giving care to, they can't make out the do's and don'ts of the context.
Mm-hmm.
So first is to know what is happening to the person, what are the biochemical and psychological causes of it, to some extent, not as an expert, but to some extent. Second, the do's and don'ts in front of the person. Third, to see which therapy method or which doctor or doctor's prescription is helping or not helping. And very importantly, to save themselves from secondary problems of secondary anxiety or secondary depression, because it's a long drawn process, and it's very common for caregivers also to develop some sickness in the course of uh, attending to a patient of schizophrenia.
Right.
So it's a very difficult time for the family and for all caregivers. And I believe that we must come out with social and government funded mechanisms
Mm-hmm.
for taking care of people who are on sicknesses which are in this particular chapter of schizophrenia spectrum disorders,
Mm-hmm.
and most importantly into schizophrenia. So it's very important for caregivers also to have adequate psychoeducation. And I think we are not doing enough as a society and as NGOs who are interested in the area of mental health to really offer uh, psychoeducation for patients and psychoeducation for caregivers.
That's the need of the hour, I would say. Thank you, Mr. Himanshu Vaidya, for sharing your knowledge with us on schizophrenia. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Namaste. We have covered today schizophrenia. In the subsequent videos, we shall be covering other disorders from DSM-5 in the same way. Do watch our upcoming video on catatonia. Do write to us. Namaste.